Imagine standing on the shores of a small fishing village in the Philippines, your hands calloused from hauling nets, your life defined by the rhythm of the sea. For Roland Abante, this was reality. By day, he was a humble fisherman, rising before dawn to provide for his family. By night, he was something else entirely, a voice so powerful, so full of raw emotion, that even in dimly lit karaoke bars, strangers would stop in their tracks just to listen. But destiny had something extraordinary planned for Roland. In 2023, this ordinary man took a leap that would change his life forever. When he walked onto the stage of America's Got Talent, clutching the microphone with nervous hands, few in the audience knew who he was. Yet the moment he opened his mouth to sing Michael Bolton's "When a Man Loves a Woman," the world discovered a hidden gem. The judges were stunned, the crowd erupted, and millions watching online fell in love with his voice. He wasn't just another contestant. He became a symbol of hope, a reminder that greatness can come from the most unexpected places. But fame can be fleeting. Though Roland's journey on AGT touched hearts around the globe, the story didn't end when the cameras stopped rolling. What happened after the lights dimmed? Did he fade back into obscurity, or did he use that spotlight to build something lasting? And what about the whispers online, tragic headlines and clickbait titles suggesting heartbreak behind the scenes? This is the untold story of Roland Abante, the fisherman with a golden voice, his rise, his struggles, and what really happened after America's Got Talent. Long before the flashing lights of America's Got Talent, Roland Abante's world was painted with the colors of the sea. Born and raised in Zamboanga del Sur in the southern Philippines, Roland's life was shaped by hard work, resilience, and simplicity. His mornings often began before sunrise, when he would take to the waters as a fisherman. With rough seas and unpredictable weather, each day was a battle against nature itself. Fishing wasn't just a job, it was survival, a way to put food on the table and to keep his family afloat. Yet, behind the quiet determination of this fisherman lived a dream that refused to die. Music was Roland's secret companion. In the Philippines, karaoke is more than just entertainment, it's a cultural heartbeat. Roland would step into neighborhood karaoke bars after long, exhausting days at sea. There, microphone in hand, he was no longer just a fisherman, he was a storyteller. His renditions of power ballads stunned locals, and whispers soon spread about the man with a voice that could rival the greats. But talent, as Roland knew all too well, doesn't always guarantee opportunity. The Philippines is a country full of singers, everywhere you turn, voices echo through the streets and homes. Standing out is almost impossible. For years, Roland's dream remained just that, a dream. He had no formal training, no industry connectee. Also the pride of his hometown. His story became an inspiration for countless Filipinos, many of whom saw themselves in him, ordinary people with extraordinary dreams waiting to be heard. Roland's humble beginnings weren't just a backdrop to his AGT journey, they were the very foundation of his character. The perseverance that carried him through long days at sea, the humility that kept him grounded despite growing attention, and the raw emotion that poured from his soul every time he sang, all of it was forged in those early years in the Philippines. When Roland finally boarded a plane bound for the United States, it wasn't just a personal milestone. It was the moment his two worlds collided. The fisherman who sang under the stars was about to step into a global spotlight. And for millions who would soon discover him, Roland Abante wasn't just chasing a dream, he was embodying one. When Roland Abante finally stepped onto the America's Got Talent stage in 2023, it was a moment that seemed almost impossible just months before. For a man who had spent most of his life casting fishing nets into the waters of Mindanao, standing in front of Simon Cowell, Heidi Klum, Sofia Vergara, and Howie Mandel felt surreal. Clutching the microphone, his hands trembled slightly, not just from nerves, but from the sheer weight of the dream he was carrying. His audition began with Michael Bolton's timeless ballad, "When a Man Loves a Woman." The first notes were gentle, almost hesitant, as though he was still trying to convince himself that he belonged on this stage. But within seconds, his voice soared, rich, soulful, and full of emotion. The judges exchanged looks of disbelief. By the time Roland reached the high notes, the audience was on its feet, cheering with thunderous applause. Simon Cowell, known for his blunt criticism, leaned forward with genuine intrigue. He praised Roland's authenticity and raw vocal power. Heidi Klum described his performance as goosebump-inducing, while Sofia Vergara called it unforgettable. In that instant, Roland Abante was no longer just a fisherman, he was a global sensation. Clips of his audition spread across social media, garnering millions of views within days. Filipinos around the world celebrated him as a national pride, and international fans were captivated by his humble story and breathtaking voice. But the AGT stage isn't just about one powerful audition, it's a battlefield of rising expectations. For the semi-finals, Roland chose one of the most challenging songs in the world, Whitney Houston's "I Will Always Love You." It was a bold choice, one that could either elevate him to legend status or overwhelm him. Dressed in a crisp white suit, Roland walked onto the stage with determination. The first notes were tender and controlled, and as the performance built, his voice unleashed with soaring intensity that filled the auditorium. The crowd once again erupted in applause, and many in the audience wiped away tears. The Judd World. But fame doesn't come with a guidebook. Roland had to navigate the pressures of living up to expectations. Every performance was now scrutinized, every decision, from song choices to appearances, carried weight. And in the age of the internet, not all attention was positive. While many praised his gift, others questioned why he hadn't advanced further or unfairly compared him to other singers. For a man used to the quiet life of fishing, these criticisms were difficult to absorb. Adding to the complexity was the swirl of online speculation. Dozens of YouTube thumbnails and Facebook headlines used dramatic words like tragedy, heartbreaking downfall, or the dark truth behind Roland Abante. Most of these were nothing more than clickbait, designed to draw views rather than tell facts. Still, they created a cloud of confusion. Fans were left wondering if Roland was facing hidden struggles or if his dream had collapsed. In reality, his challenges were not scandalous. They were human. The shift from being a fisherman to an international figure required adjustment, resilience, and patience. Financially, life didn't change overnight. Unlike a competition winner, Roland didn't walk away with $1 million prize. Instead, he gained visibility, a powerful but intangible reward. He began receiving invitations to perform at concerts, festivals, and private events. His voice carried him to new stages, but the work of building a career in music remained difficult. For someone without industry connections or management, every opportunity was a battle. And yet, Roland never let setbacks crush his spirit. In interviews, he often expressed gratitude rather than frustration. He thanked his fans, his family, and even the AGT judges for giving him a platform. He said that even if his journey ended on the semi-final stage, the experience had already changed his life forever. To him, success wasn't about fame or money. It was about proving that dreams can come true, no matter your background. Opportunities continued to trickle in. He performed at charity events, guested on Philippine television shows, and even appeared in collaborative concerts with other Filipino singers. His social media pages became hubs where fans from across the globe gathered to celebrate his music. He may not have had a Hollywood-style career explosion, but he had built something more meaningful, a loyal community that genuinely loved him. The aftermath of Roland Abante's AGT journey revealed a deeper truth. For some contestants, the show is a launching pad to superstardom. For others, it is a single shining moment. For Roland, it became a bridge, connecting a simple life of fishing with the vast possibilities of music. His story reminded the world that while fame is fleeting, authenticity lasts. So, what really happened to Roland Abante after the glitter of America's Got Talent faded? Did the fisherman with the golden voice retreat back into obscurity, or did he manage to keep high? Young people, especially those from humble beginnings, to believe in themselves. If a fisherman could stand on one of the world's biggest talent stages, then perhaps they, too, could achieve the impossible. As of now, Roland remains active in music. He may not have a record label or $1 million contract, but he continues to build his career step by step. He performs at concerts across the Philippines, occasionally joins collaborative shows with other Filipino artists, and keeps in touch with his growing fanbase online. His story continues to resonate not only with Filipinos but with global fans who first discovered him on AGT and never forgot the sincerity of his voice. The whispers of tragedy that float around online are largely unfounded. Roland didn't fall into scandal or collapse under the weight of fame. Instead, his story is about a man navigating the realities of sudden exposure while staying true to who he is. There were struggles. Financial limitations, the uncertainty of sustaining a music career, and the pressure of expectations, but Roland faced them with the same quiet determination he once used to face the sea. Today, he lives in a balance between two worlds, the ordinary life of a man rooted in his community, and the extraordinary life of a singer whose voice once stunned the world. And perhaps that balance is what makes him so unforgettable. He is proof that success doesn't always mean riches or trophies, it can simply mean living authentically, inspiring others, and using your gift to bring joy. Roland Abante's story reminds us that dreams don't always unfold in the way we expect. Sometimes they arrive like a wave, sudden, powerful, and transformative. For Roland, that wave was America's Got Talent. It lifted him from obscurity and carried his voice across oceans. And even though the show ended for him, the echoes of his songs remain. In the end, what really happened to Roland Abante is not a tale of tragedy but of triumph, a man who dared to dream beyond the shoreline and prove that even the humblest voice can reach the farthest hearts.